All right, we are live, and the New York Mets, gonna put my chest in this one, are the best team in baseball, boys.
Oh.
We are live, we are having fun, and we are presented by Coors Light, as always, the beer that was there during the dark days of the Wilpons, the beer that is there during the glory days of Cohen that are here and to come, and everywhere in between. When you're juggling work, family, and the busyness in general, it's easy to feel the pressure, but that doesn't mean we have to lose our chill. Just like with the New York Mets, there are plenty of chances in life to make things better by choosing chill. Listen, Mets fall behind early to the Nationals. You're like, you know what? Everything's going to be all right. And that's what it is. I'm drinking my nice Coors Light, watching my Mets. Kids are running around the house. And then you know what? When the night's over and the craziness is done, you just go, I love this team. I love this kids. And I love this bottle of Coors Light. So when the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold, filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. So New York, choose chill, choose Coors Light. Proud partner of the New York Mets. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/believe. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Coors Light bought low on the Mets back in the day when we started this, and man, our things turning out well. Kev, you having fun right now? You having fun?
I'm having fun. Chat, let's get going. Let's get, everybody needs to realize what we are experiencing right now, because it's really almost for the first time ever. I was talking to Rico Bosco about it. He's like, when was the last time we had expectations like this and delivered? And it's like once in our whole life, because even the good years are what never really expected to be as good as we were, or even times where I expected to be bad, and we caught lightning in a bottle. 24 was never supposed to happen. 15 came out of nowhere with Cespedes. 16, we had expectations but blew it. The only time I ever realized, and even 06 was okay, we built, I think we had 85 wins in 05, and it was all right, we're going to be good. And then it went out of nowhere. So there's never been, maybe 2000, I don't know, there's really never a year where we were we are a good team, we are playing for right now, our window is right now, and we are delivering. It's never happened. So the fact that we might be looking at a 2006-ish summer, God willing, even half as easy, breezy, and enjoyable as that was, just recognize that what's going on here is not something that we, as almost any fan under the age of 100, has ever enjoyed. You can just put the game on and relax, put your feet up and enjoy it. Listen to the radio, sit in the pool, as Rico says, pool games. Maybe take a night off, maybe just watch on your phone. It doesn't matter, because you know what's going to happen. Especially if Juan Soto's now cooking. Jeff McNeil's decided to be prime Daniel Murphy. Everybody's hitting. Everybody's pitching. We're winning. They're losing. This never happens. Live it up. Soak it in.
Something unique and special about baseball where you want the summer where you're just not really watching, paying attention to every fucking second. Football, you have to. It's 16, 17, whatever. By this time next year, probably games.
23 games.
Second, every play means the world. Basketball, not as much, but still, you still need to get those wins together. Baseball's 162, and like we always say, we always did the opposite, right? And this is what I compare it to, Kev. When you get a tweet, and you hit that tweet, and it goes numbers immediately. You're like, I got one. What do? You mute it because you don't want to get all the notifications from all this shit. That's kind of what I want. I want my baseball season to go super viral and be full, and I don't think about it again. I just they did their job, and that's exactly what the Mets are doing.
Here it is for you. Mute the Mets. Mute the Mets. Right up and mute the Mets. You can wake up in the morning and check the score and go, yep, Juan Soto hit another bomb. We got 4 innings from our starting pitcher. Our bullpen closed it down. Oh, we were down in the 7th inning. Doesn't matter. We came back and won it. Mute the Mets, baby.
Remember when we used to do the thing where you would explain the game to me, the Jason Vargas starts, and because I couldn't watch him anymore, I almost might where I'm like, I'm just going to take the night off tonight, Kev. You tell me how we won the game last night, and just gotta.
I've always thought it's really not healthy to watch 162 baseball games or even anything remotely close to that. When you really just break it down, it's insane. You're missing movies and TV shows and all sorts of pop culture moments. We can do that. We can do that. If you want to watch, great. If you don't, it's fine. It's the same shit. I don't know why it is that when they're losing, I feel compelled to go down with the ship. But when you got a winner, I've always said it's like the gold standard was like when Patriots fans used to legitimately be like, I don't care until the AFC Championship game. And if you reach a point in baseball, and I always do it with other teams, it's like I look around right now, like Detroit's going to be there in October. The Dodgers are going to be there in October. Like you just pencil it in, and we've been so beaten and battered, and never, even when we're good, there's always like holes or reasons for concern. And so you never could pencil it in. And this team and the league and the way it's working right now, I'm ready to ink it in, baby. They're just a good team. They're just a good fucking team.
They're a good team who even on bad nights sticks around enough. Like I'm at least watching 9 innings.
Right.
Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen in extra innings, but like that to that final out, they're going to find a way to manufacture Tyrone Taylor, Luis Angel Acuna, every other prospect they bring up on any given night. I said we have like one complete prospect right now at any given time. There's one guy who's doing his job. The other 2 kind of fall off. If we get 2, or God forbid 3 of them that just click all at the same time, I can't even fathom what that team looks like. That's how good they will be.
And then, guys, that Stearns finds off the scrappy. He's like, Garza, just go throw hard and fucking like Dom. I'm at the point with Garza. I'm so convinced he's going to be good. I will be calling him Matt Garza in a month because I'm my dumb idiot old brain. I forget people. Meek, are you having fun right now, Meek?
I'm having fun. We got a good baseball team.
This is Meek every night, just fucking on the Mets bag. And let me just. Oh, you have your time. Go ahead.
Listen, 1 year ago today was when Grimace came into our lives. 105 and 60 since Grimace threw out that first pitch. He changed our lives for the better.
105 and 60.
We best team in baseball over the last calendar year. Believe it.
Has there ever been a better rebrand than going from the June swoon to the gay Mets?
We used to have June months where we were 5 and like 22. SNY would write articles be like, if you take out the month of June, the Mets would be a playoff team. It's like it's a whole fucking like 30-day month. Now we're just gay as fucking win baseball games.
It's the best. It's so enjoyable right now, bro. One of the best things in all of sports as a fan is when, like, for me right now, innings 7, 8, and 9 feel exactly like 1, 2, and 3. Like, if we need a run, if we're down, like, we got 3 innings. And, like, the fact that it's late and they're going to have, like, their best relievers in, like, I think we're good. We usually scrap together something, whether we, can overtake the lead or win, whatever, but it's never dead. They never seem to press. They're just
the same stat about it. We just came through like half the time with runners in scoring position. That's kind of been our only bugaboo, and it was like if they did that, we'd be like on pace for 108 wins.
We're on pace for 105 as it is.
Yeah,
you would think though that we are maxed out, and we're not. Like, get better. Like, this is not a feeling. Even like Soto he's finally like full cooking, but we did this really with like a month of like half Soto. We did it with terrible hitting and runners with scores in scoring position. Like, there's still, if Soto's good the rest of the way, if you start to hit with runners in scoring position, like, fucking forget about it. And for the first time in my life, the Phillies are getting swept by the Pirates. The Braves are blowing 10-run leads. Like, it never all comes together. And there's still a long way to go. And, like, I can't say that it has all come together. But even just little spurts of it where it's like, oh, is this what it's like for other good teams and playing against other bad teams and other teams are choking and other teams are getting in, and we're the ones calling people up and we have the cavalry's coming, Jonah Tong and whatnot. Like, all of it is, if it's not coming together, it's like almost there. So maybe it's 26, 27, 28, but I have full faith now that within the next couple of years, we will see the full Cohen machine from prospects to free agents to veterans, on the field, off the field. Everything is going according to plan. And fuck anybody who doubted it.
Let me tell you something. The Mets haven't even begun to peak. And when they do peak, you'll know. Because they're going to peak so hard that everybody in New York is going to feel it. As Dennis Reynolds once said down the turnpike, I mean, like you said, the Braves and the Phillies are fighting for their lives. They win some, they lose some. The Phillies are going through the Braves are going through a fucking like disastrous season. The Phillies just had, their skies were falling, and everything here is just Sunday 78, no humidity. It's
Yep.
the opposite of the weather, essentially. It's been, and like you said, Kev, the 7th, 8th, 9th feels like the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. The number 1 starters games feel like the 3rd starters games feels like the, I guess, Tyler McGill games. So it's like he's kind of the dragon with the cross eyes, but he's really not bad. He's still under 4 ERA, right? So everything, the lineup, if you feel good about every part of this fucking team right now. It's crazy.
Even like the bad parts are just manageable. You know, it's nothing is there. There's always an Achilles heel. There's always like the bottom of the lineup's terrible, or a hole in the middle of your lineup, or bad defense, or something that just always rears its head. And this is like, I don't know. What would you say is like the biggest weakness? Throw out runners in scoring position, because I do feel like that's a little bit sample size, circumstances, all that shit. What would you say is the biggest weakness of this team?
I'm going to go to Phil, the fucking microcomputer on the podcast, see what he says about this.
I want to say maybe third base, just because Brett Baty's been in a slump, or
So
center
that's
field because you're not getting
one
into Taylor, but
position,
like
we used to have entire problems.
That's Vientos. That's Beatty. It's like once those guys all start kind of figuring it out, okay, we're just going to plug this guy in on this day and this guy in on this day, and they even each other out.
Like maybe you could say bullpen, but then you see David Stearns get Justin Garza off the scrap heap, throwing 98 miles an hour, getting outs in high leverage. Like, it's not at all.
Stearns, baby. The pitching lab, Stearns, all of it is just working, man.
It's all just, it's coming together.
And you know, and this is how you kind of know that the team can withstand anything coming up too, is that there's chemistry. I mean, you got Jesse Winker popping up in the bullpen everywhere in the ballpark wearing different shirts like he's fucking Where's Waldo. Starling Marte relegated to the bench. He's up. He's talking to all the young guys. He's like the Uncle captain. He's taking over the home run thing. And then you got Sean Manaea, who's doing rehab starts and then still showing up to the game at the ballpark at night to watch David Stearns deal.
Starling Marte deserves all of the flowers. Like, a guy who, you know, probably had everything to just be like, I'm done, fuck it, like, I'm not a part of this. And he is in the mix. He is like Juan Soto's best buddy. I'm like, he's almost like his manager at this point. Like, everybody is playing their role. There's no, even McNeil, who like was the grumpiest, angriest kind of asshole the last few years.
He has a near 900 OPS.
Crazy, man. That is one thing. I thought that ship sailed. I thought he'll be just a Major League Baseball player, you know, middle, probably below average. The fact that he's contributing like this is such an extra benefit to carry on top.
Forget the bat. He's playing center field some nights too, and it's not like utility.
Torpedo bat.
And let me say something. As much as I really genuinely feel like you are absolutely idiotic if you doubted Juan Soto, and anybody with a brain who just forget about even looking at stats and shit, just know Juan Soto and knows baseball, you knew everything was going to be okay. Take it a step further. If you looked at the analytics and the advanced stats, it was like so obvious this was just a matter of time. But all that being said, I can still admit that getting to now watch in full swing, as much as I was saying he's fine, he's on pace, all that, watching him talk shit, watching him hit that home run the other night, it was shades of the ALCS against the Guardians, like fucking nodding at the pitcher, hits the bomb, talking shit as he rounds the bases, afterwards says, we were just chatting, like getting to watch a signature Soto home run for the first time. I was like, oh, man, he really wasn't cooking it. Now he is. When we're talking shit, we're smiling, we're laughing, we're taking pictures. All is well. And how fucking stupid do you have to feel if you're Michael Kay or Yankee fans or the roll call guy, who, by the way, that guy is the worst. I at least remember the Bald Vinny days. I don't know if there's been other bleacher creature leaders in the years. I just remember Bald Vinny, and now this guy who looks like fucking Clemmer. All those guys have got to just feel so fucking stupid. Like, where do you go from here? The guy, he's got these 6 times in a game. He's, OPS raised like 150 points in like 45 minutes. I mean, it's crazy that it's crazy to people doubted Juan Soto going into his prime. It's crazy that anybody did that. That slump could have lasted 4 more months, and it could have lasted a whole season, and it would have been crazy, let alone to do it after like 4 weeks.
who's the guy that like keeps saying like Juan, I'm gonna be here, and then he was screaming out the window because ever since he
John
did that,
from Maspeth.
he just lit a fire under Juan Soto. So shout out John from Maspeth. He definitely. Juan Soto doesn't know him from a fucking the street. I'm not trying to say he inspired Juan Soto, but it's incredible.
They do know Michael K. They do know Michael K. And that man has fully embarrassed himself, like full crash outs and meltdowns about Mets fans, just telling it like it is.
Did he say he's a lion? What's his stuff about?
Yeah. He said like a lion. He was trying to say like a lion doesn't concern himself with sheep. You know that line? But then he said something about like lions and lights on their back, and I was like, that's not even I don't think that's a saying, bro. Also, you're not a fucking lion.
Not a lion.
I mean, he is lying. He's been lying about a lot of things. You know, like when you're yelling about Juan Soto and the Mets, and then you need to pivot to talking about your ratings and explain to everyone that ESPN doesn't pay for the ratings, so there's no ratings. You guys don't know what you're talking about. It's like, whoa, dude. I think you're projecting a little bit here. I think you're the one bringing all this shit up. So I don't know what that was about. He said, he was like, you think I would put like my 39-year whatever career on the line? It's like, it did. And you sound like a fucking asshole now, dude.
It's why can't people just be normal? Like you say, Kev, just be normal. You don't have to. You could just say, like, Juan Soto's fucking awesome. It sucks he left. Maybe there was a part of him that wanted to come to the Yankees. Part of him wanted to go to the Mets. Mets won, thanks to, again, the Cohens. The Cohens, which the Mets being on the – so the Athletic did another one of their lists where they asked the players a bunch of questions. The Mets, I think, were 7th in terms of, like – it was 17 – it said, like, name an organization that you, like, have heard good things about or bad things about. Mets had 17 goods, I think 1 bad. And they were, like, 7th in the league in terms of goods. Because you could say how many you like. Banana land that we're in this world. Banana land.
Forget about 105 and 60 in the last calendar year. Forget any other stat to throw out. The fact that the New York Mets were anywhere near the top of the list in terms of reputation in Major League Baseball. I know the goal is to win a championship and nothing else matters, but that might be Steve Cohen's greatest achievement. That in a matter of years, the New York Mets. Imagine if the New York Jets were ever on that list, where they would be. You know, like these are teams that were forever a laughingstock from the fans and from internally, externally, all that shit. And now they're up there with like the crown jewels of every franchise in the sport. It's crazy.
Kevin, the Jets were on a list. They did this for the Jets, and they finished like bottom of the barrel, and Woody Johnson said they must be lying about it. So let you know where the Jets stand right now to where the Mets stand right now, and it all starts at the fucking top. And I guess it was probably some athletic poll, and they made a bunch of different rules about it. They had one, and they asked a question. Out of a bunch of pitchers, who would you want to face least? Game 7, World Series, bottom of the 9th, and it came the number 22, Juan Soto, even though he was the struggling Juan Soto, who has 13 home runs. In the National League, he is tied with Fernando Tatis, Ellie De La Cruz, O'Neal Cruz, Kyle Tucker, who was fucking bashing baseballs, and the struggling, devastated, unhappy Juan Soto. 13 home runs, 11th in the National League in fucking home runs with a struggling whatever you want to call it. I mean, what do we have to even say? It's like, again, the Lindorks, it took a couple of years to, finally kill the last one. The Soho, they didn't even make it to fucking the All-Star break. It's craziness here. It's crazy.
Bro, the fact that, Pete Alonso, who is having a great year, I don't want to take away from him. 317 home runs, 63 RBIs. Unbelievable. But the fact that, Juan Soto is, within striking distance in a few of those stories. And if you were to ask someone about Pete Alonso, you'd be saying he's having an MVP season. And if you were to ask other people about Juan Soto, you would say he was a colossal disappointment and an overpay. It's like, what are we doing here? It's crazy that we ever even engaged. The fact that ever got any team, if you were anybody with a following or a show or anything that ever actually gave into that or believed that or spouted that off, I don't care if you were doing it for fucking clicks or whatever. You should be embarrassed. You should absolutely be embarrassed. And by the way, Salicata, they asked him about Pete Alonso being an MVP or some shit, and he was like, I'm not really into the personal accolades. If the team is playing well, that's all that matters. The same guy who didn't mention that the Mets were in first place for 3 months straight, all because he was fixated on Juan playing a little bit below average, is now not going to give Pete Alonso his flowers because he doesn't care about personal performance. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke.
People just got to stop listening to the radio. Respectfully, I think that's your thing. That's your thing. I don't know. Like at some point, like I stopped reading because I'm like, you know what, that medium has passed it by, and you know the stuff that they're churning up. And at some point, like, listen, there's certain people I like. I'll listen to them. I'll listen to their podcasts more than I'll listen to the radio.
I like
but
those guys, by the way. I do like them. This is silly. This is stupid.
Yeah, they have to just go away to just be like normal. Because again, we know what this is. We know and we're seeing it with the Knicks, which we'll get to some Knicks stuff later, which is another fucking, But I'm most convinced that like Soto's like, listen, I'm going to take the heat off the Knicks. They're going to have a tough series against Detroit. I'll go a little bit here. This Boston series, we don't know how that's going to go. And then as soon as the Knicks got eliminated, Juan Soto's like, fuck you guys. You guys can start, having everyone throw barbs at you, and I'm just going to rake. And that's exactly what happened.
Dude, I really think Juan Soto was doing this out of respect for the Knicks. I think he wasn't shuffling. I think he was taking his time. He's like, I'm going to let the Knicks have their moment, have their shine. Oh, it's baseball season? Let's go.
So, Kev, you said give them their flowers. So I was actually going to have a whole segment about giving them flowers. So that segment is going to be presented Game Time. Baseball is back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Luckily for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to Game Time. The Game Time picks make it even easier to find the great deals on the seats you want. Just pull up your chosen event and turn on the GT pick setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time picks deals near you on the Game Time app homepage. So we're going to go to the Hudson Valley Renegades game tomorrow. We're going to do a little Cub Scout Day. So we're going to do that. We're going to go. We're going to but the thing is, we couldn't get the tickets beforehand because we're like, it rains every single weekend. So we've been waiting. 5% rain tomorrow. So I was like, you know what? Let's go. I've been to the Renegades game during the rain. Not that fun, not a lot of coverage. But when it's nice out, it's absolutely perfect. So I was looking at tickets here, and we got the Greenville Drive coming to town to Heritage Financial Park at $28. $28. So I'm getting a family of four, about $100, section 202, row F. You ain't getting anywhere near a New York sporting event for $28 a person. I can bring the family of four. You get your parking, the food's cheaper, all that kind of stuff. So shout out Game Time for making such beautiful, beautiful prices there. You can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jacks. I always like getting the kids something weird. Renegades were they were like the luchadors or something once. So they had like their mascot's a raccoon, and he had a little like luchador mask on. So I always get the kids something fun when we go to the ballpark. So shout out to Game Time. I could do that. So waiting for I'm going to buy my Renegade tickets now with picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BELIEVE for $20 off. BELIEVE. Download the Game Time today. What time is it? Game time, and it's flower time. And I wanted people to get their flowers here. Kev, you threw a couple flowers for everyone, but you didn't throw it towards one person, and I wanted this person to have the chance to throw said flowers. Kyle, here is a bouquet. Throw some flowers at your guy.
My guy, David Peterson. We didn't know what we were going to get out of him coming into this season. We know what he did last year. He ate shit. Let's just call it what it is in the season. He was the most consistent pitcher, and then he gladly went to the bullpen because he thought it would make the team better. And he comes back, and he is absolutely fucking dealing. I don't know what it is that they were able to fix his hip, it fixed his mechanics, pitching like the first-round pick that we drafted. And it's just something about a lefty who's dealing that just gives you a little bit of an extra notch on the belt. I don't know. I guess he can keep it up because the fact that his numbers are coming out and he's fourth in the NL in ERA behind the leader who's also on our team who's pitching today. Fucking crazy. I've never seen somebody buy in so much and who's earned the contract. So let's not make the mistake we did with Alonso and let it get to a point where he's overperforming and now you got to try to chase him down. Pay this man the extension because he's already proven himself.
He's signed for his ARB years next year, and then he's a free agent after that. So start talking now.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, for real, dude. I legitimately, every time this happens, I say, I'm like, you really don't know. Like, will we see a Met throw a complete game shutout like anytime soon, if maybe ever again? Every time these things happen, I'm like, this might be the last time. A complete game shutout in 2025 from anybody who's like not a true bona fide ace, somebody who's like you expect it from, that might be the last time you ever see it on our team. I know it happens. Like everybody has like one or two here or there. That is crazy. 100 pitches, I think it was. A complete game shutout, dude.
Tyrone Taylor with a seed from center field.
Oh, bro. But I mean, think back to the beginning of last year when times were bad, and even when things got going good, we were begging for 5 innings, like praying that you can get out of 4 2/3. And my man doubled that. It's almost more of a testament to how bad it's gotten and like how much it's shifted. And that's definitely the most old man at the clouds thing about me as a sports fan is I just can't get used to this new world of like pitchers just don't pitch. So when you see it, it's something to really like. I mean, that reaction felt like a no-hitter. Like they cut to him on the mound and he was smiling and hugging and it was like, yeah, they're mobbing him. Pete gives him the ball. And it's like, that's almost the new no-hitter these days because it's so rare. So, I mean, if that kind of shit's going to be happening, complete games and everyone else clicking, like, it's not a lot to worry about.
Well, Kevin, I'm happy you brought that up because my next flower is being thrown towards the Citi Field crowd for fucking showing up like it was a goddamn playoff game on a Wednesday night in June and a Tuesday night in June against the Nationals. And Steve told us to come, and we came. This is fucking Field of Dreams.
If you build it, they will come.
But, like, not only that, but they're bringing it, too. Because every fucking night, it's not just a crowd that's kind of in and out. They're fucking living and dying. Granted, like the Mets games where they're going to rope you in because it's usually pretty close or you're just getting highlight reel shit. So shout out the Citi Field crowd and shout out SNY. And once again, our boy, let me see if I can say it, John DeMarsico. I don't know. But fact.
I thought it was DeMarisco. We got to figure this out.
Yeah. So the fact that they made sure that they were around to hear the Citi Field crowd live as Peterson came out. I don't know how many like channels would actually do that in Major League Baseball. How many would you say? Like 3 maybe would have a wherewithal? Yeah. And like we are 1 with a bullet. We are.
You were right. DeMarsico. Sorry, DeMarsico.
DeMarsico. We have to get him on the show. We're just going to talk about it. Like, who was it? Matt Damon? That Jimmy Kimmel would always say, "Well, we don't have time for Matt Damon. We got to get this guy on the fucking show before he becomes a Hollywood like blockbuster producer." But they absolutely crushed it, just like the Citi Field crowd has crushed it. It just makes everything that much better. And then
you know what it is? You know what it is, Clem? We are in the sweet spot right now. If we continue to be this good for the next few seasons, unfortunately, I don't know, like a sold out crowd going bonkers on a Tuesday against the Nats because you start to get used to it. You start to take it for granted. Right now is like we still have enough PTSD from the past. We're winning in the future, and it's right in that sweet spot where it's like we got to go experience this. We got to go see our players. We have good players. They're all clicking. We're winning. Let's go and let's be loud. And a few more years from now, you'll have the bandwagon fans. It'll be corporate. It'll be families, but it won't be like rowdy and raucous. So this is the time, man. This is really when it all kind of comes together. It's the perfect timing of it all.
We still got the Grimace fairy dust on everything. It still has it.
Still a little left over. So,
and I was gonna say McNeil was the third just because he's had his runs obviously throughout the last few years. I still say when the ball gets hit up the middle and he's playing second, and I'm like, fuck, Acuna would have had that like sleeping, and it just goes past his old slow white. Sometimes I get a little sad. However. He's fucking raking. He is playing center. He's doing just a good enough job, and we're fucking winning the game. And like you said, second on the team in OPS. So I really can't complain. And we said this back in April. Remember when he was at second and Acuna was struggling, and we're just like, man, Jeff McNeil's agent must be licking his chops, being like, now they can appreciate this guy. Jeff McNeil, here are your flowers. You were fucking awesome, and thank you for just crap, because I didn't know if we were going to lose him. Is there anyone? I'll start with Phil. Anyone you want to throw some flowers to, Phil?
I want to throw a flower to Juan Soto for another reason that never gets brought up. So it gets talked about on Nationals. Got a great trade return for Juan Soto. What was it? 3 years ago when they traded him. It's like James Wood, Mackenzie Gore, CJ Abrams. It's like the Nats did really good. You trade a star player, 3 years later, Juan Soto's on a team that's 13.5 better than you, and you're still not good enough. That just shows you trading a star player isn't really that worth it in baseball. Mackenzie Gore's going to be a free agent in 2 years. They're going to sit there and be like, oh, it's worth it. Maybe you should just have a team of good players to spend around them.
Yeah.
And that
I would say that if I think we can definitively say having a team with Juan Soto greater than having a team with Juan Soto.
Exactly.
yes, agreed. I feel, and that whole
I got
thing.
so many flowers to give. I got so many. You know what I want to give him to? He still doesn't get enough. Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso needs more flowers because I'll be totally honest. I expected by now he was going to come back down to earth. Never did I think by now, this late in the season, he'd be batting 300, leading the league in RBIs. More RBIs than fucking Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is batting 400. He's got an OPS of 1,300. But anyway, back to Pete. Like, he's just still doing it. Every night, it's like RBI double if it's not a home run. I mean, he's just raking everything as extra base hits. He's a guy who, needed it, deserved it, but I really thought it was going to be more like streaky and lightning in a bottle, and he's still doing it. I want to give flowers to Lindor because it's really not like the Lindor show right now, but he's still doing it. And there's so many other – we're talking about Soto. We're talking about Pete. We're talking about McNeil. And then there's the real guy, the captain, who's just still always there. I have what I like to call Lindor time. Every single time he's up now in the ninth inning, bases, somebody on base, game tying or game winning situation, I'll go back and check it. About 4 or 5 times now, I'll tweet Lindor time. And by the time the tweet is posted, he's already got a hit. Lindor time, he comes through every fucking time. Who else gets it? All of the starting pitching. The entire collective of Mauricio, Vientos, Beatty, Acuna. Like you said, Kyle, it's like the 4 of them kind of like combined to be like 1.5 players. And if they all ever click, forget about it. If you want to make a big trade, you got some pieces. Those guys are all doing their job. The Martes of the world who aren't shining but are playing their role. There's just not enough flowers in the world right now to go around this team.
I was thinking I'm going to hit him up. I feel like we have to have Joe DeMaio on at some point. We're just going to run out of just keep throwing flowers at the same guys. Like at some point we have to mix it up. And I do want to know this next generation because it's like the Jonathans and the McLeans and like the Jet Williams, Drew Gilbert. Like those things are starting to be on my timeline a lot more. And I'm starting to get excited. And I think baseball fans.
What if that? I mean, they're not ready, but imagine if you called up Jonah Tong and he was lights out. It's like, oh, I didn't expect that at all. It starts to get, dare I say, Dodgers-esque, where it's just it just keeps going. And I feel like that's, I don't want to count my chickens, but it's like when you have a billionaire and he's put his plan in motion and it's already worked this well. Shout out to him, by the way. Happy birthday. Shout out to him getting the casino, whatever, signed off on. That's happening now. When he's followed through on his plan this much, there's really no reason to doubt that the rest of it's not going to come together. You can start to get real cocky. You can start to get real confident.
I don't know, man. I love the fucking team so much.
I'm not prepared to be that guy who's just yeah, man, give it a couple more years and we're going to be a perennial playoff team and always have good farm system and always have big money for you. But I just don't see how it doesn't get there. I will say that.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm thinking. I'm not saying they're there yet because I don't think they're there yet. But I'm saying I think what have been experiencing this season, especially the last month or so, this is a typical Dodger season. This is what the Dodgers fans experience, where it's every night, probably going to win and whatever. We're not there yet, and we'll have to see what the minors does. The next generation's important, and you have to still make your moves and stuff. But I do feel like this is kind of the day-to-day feeling. I'm not saying that they're as good as them or, they've been a machine for so long. I also want to bring this up. You said with Pete, too, with the flowers. When are we going to start having the paying Pete conversation? Because
I've been having it. I said it 2 weeks into the season. I was like, we may want to just start kicking the tires before we get to the All-Star break because this shit's going to get off the rails real quick, and we are way off the rails.
I know, but here's the thing, man, and I hate to do this because I just gave him his flowers and I want to just be all positive, but it's I don't know. If you're looking at it really logically, it's is this the fluke? Is this the outlier? Will he just – what if you give him the big contract and he goes back to 2024? I don't know. They might have played it right. They might have, maybe they. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
He hits 35 home runs, 38 home runs a year, and you just plop Juan Soto right in front of him with his 55 walks, and it's like that's why he has all the RBIs because
that might be if I'm Boris to them, that would be the argument I'm making is that this isn't going to slow down because the X factor is Juan Soto. But is it what do you when you say pay him? What do you mean?
So that's what I was going to say to Meek. Like, Meek, what do you think? Because you have to think the Freeman deal was years ago now at this point.
Vladdy deal fucked us.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Vladdy deal.
The other part is he'd be in a free agent class where the only other players like Kyle Tucker. So it's like he'd be the second best bat in the market. So
and he has an opt-out now?
Yeah.
So he's just basically like full free agent if he wants to be.
He's going to want to be a free agent. Let's just stick with that.
Well, like, so that'll be what, 32 for him?
Yeah.
That, it's just, it's a tough spot. I give him a 5-year deal. Like he's going to want like a 5-year deal for a lot of money. It's a lot.
That's going to be the tough conversation. And the people on Twitter who don't have to worry about that stuff, they're going to be pay Pete and do this. And it's like, just be reckless. And it's like,
if he really wants to stay and he really thinks he has a chance, because he's got a little Nimmo in him, and in that, like, I feel like he really does want to be a Met for his whole career. And like the accolades and having the records and all that shit, like actually does put a little feather in his cap. Offset the money, do what Ohtani did, and point to that and be like, hey, they're going to pay him until this year because they want to win championships. Like, if you want to be here and win championships, we're just going to pay you down the road.
Yeah, that's where Steve needs to get to the, SEC settlement, Cohen. And we start thinking of ways where we're promising Alonso shit that's going to take care of him financially well into the future.
There's like a painting on his back stoop. That's what, isn't that what?
Van Gogh just happens to end up there. I don't know how it happened, Pete. So that's just going to be a tough conversation. And, I don't think anything would happen here. There's a team in Town that's going to need a first baseman, and they're a little scorned from losing the guy to us. I don't think Steve would ever let it happen dollar for dollar, even overpay a little bit to that point. But I figured they're going to go after Tucker hard. The Cubs better re-sign Tucker too, because the Cubs fans every single day pay Kyle Tucker, bring up Roman Anthony. That's all I saw from Chicago to Boston every single day. Roman Anthony's up now that Kyle Tucker has to get paid. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Last flower of the segment, Kev. I'm going to give the floor to you. Janko's back in our lives. Throw your
Janko! When I saw that, I was like, "This is a script." I legitimately think he was brought in for vibes. I think they were like, we just want to bring him back. Obvious. I'm joking. He's got the skills we need. But Janko is back now. We get a little bit of 2022 fun mixed in with our 2025 run here. This is so much more enjoyable than 2022, by the way. 22, as good as it was a sweat and a fight and a battle every night. But the guys like Janko and the wig, I have pictures of me wearing that wig and everything. He was the fun side of it. If Janko can be back and just be a terror on the base pass and be a defensive replacement, whatever, all those things are what build a real fun summer, a real good summer. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't even know what it really means for the team, but I know what it means for the fans. I got more Janko's back tweets and messages than I did when we signed Juan Soto. It's crazy. Crazy what matters to us fans.
The reason why this feels more fun in 2022 right now is because at the moment there's no Braves behemoth chasing you down. Right. You look up, it's they're winning every fucking night. So it's maybe the Phillies heat up, maybe the Braves catch up, but you hope it's not to the degree that it was 3 years ago.
And this team's also
with that,
in that we're stringing together 4 or 5 wins in a row, whereas 2022 it was we'd win 2, we'd lose 1, we'd win 2, we'd lose 1, we'd win every series, and that was fun, but you never got that roller coaster up where now we are.
Oh, one Shining Mets pointed out, it was we had a 14-12 stretch in 2022 where we lost 7 games in a division. It's go fuck yourself, Braves.
Yeah, that was insane. That is a
14-12, it's just gone. Okay.
One last flowers. Clay Holmes. Imagine pitching Clay Holmes for only 1 inning. That would just be silly. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be my franchise. And now the new thing, I've seen people say, "Oh, he hasn't pitched against any good teams." When are you going to stop? When are these people going to stop? You pick out the schedule. The schedule doesn't matter. You play Juan Soto, he gets good. You start to complain about all these different teams. They beat the good teams. They crush the bad teams. Come up with more excuses. We're going to fucking smoke you in all of them. They're just a good team. I know people can't accept that, but they are.
I went back to, I agree with you. It's like, it don't even bother anymore. Like, again, like these are things that I've learned as a fan, and then even like just being online and doing the show, doing media shit, whatever you want to call it. Like there's like, you just have to, like, I think I've settled my sweet spot in terms of like tweeting baseball and talking about stuff, having takes. Like you could just say stuff. You could get into an argument with some random guy who's probably just trolling you the whole time, right? It's like, what's the point of it all? Life's too fucking short for this.
There's just no real arguments anymore. There used to be shit that I was concerned about, that I was trying to find silver linings, or I did believe was going to turn around or whatever. And it's, again, I always put myself in the shoes of other fans. It's like, do Dodgers fans or Astros fans when they were really good, or even like Tigers fans right now, are they like sitting around arguing with people about like strength of schedule for a team that's 20 whatever games over 500 and 5 games up in the division and have some of the best players in the league? No, it's stupid. Act like, start to act like it.
So I just looked it up here too. So the New York Mets this season, 2025, 44-24, 647 winning percentage, 315 runs scored, 221 runs against, right? 2022 New York Mets on June 12th were 40-22, 645 winning percentage, so 0.002 difference, 316 runs scored, so one better, 250 runs allowed, so a little bit, so more runs allowed back then, but they were 5.5 up on the Braves. We are 5 up on the Phillies. So
do you know how crazy that is? This is my theme of the episode. How crazy that the 2022 pitching staff gave up more runs than this pitching staff. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, 30.
I mean, if you put a gun to me and all of my family's head and said, will the 2025 starting rotation be better than the 2022 starting rotation, I would have easily said, no fucking shot. And here we are. Baseball. It's baseball season.
They've given up 30 more runs, and they did it in 6 less games too. So like, and that was DeGrom, Scherzer. DeGrom at this point might have still been hurt. Like I know
DeGrom was hurt, and Scherzer was hurt too. It was like Cookie, Taiwan,
but
Peterson.
like still way more established and expectations than Griffin Canning and fucking company.
Fucking Taiwan Walker and Cookie Carrasco. I mean, that is a fucking wayback machine. I was not ready. Boy, Phil, you gotta tell me. You gotta trigger warn me next time you say names like that.
I got one request. Demand. Hard line in the sand type shit for Steve Cohen. First of all, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Tia Alex. I don't want to cock block. I don't want to mess it with another man's business. If Steve Cohen doesn't walk with Frank, I might be out. I might bail on the whole thing.
Wow.
There needs, I mean, you can't. You cannot be Frank for the last 5 years and then be like, I'm sorry, can you go on a walk with me? No. You got it. You made your bed. You got to sleep in it. And I don't want Steve Cohen to be like, oh, this is my PR opportunity. Like, I'll we'll break bread and it'll be a fun month. No, Frank made his bed. He doubted. He talked shit. He's a problem. And now he's got his tail tucked between his legs. Fuck that.
I heard him say I was wrong.
Fuck that.
I'm like, it doesn't matter if I'm with you or against you. It's just not going to matter. It's just going to be if our God, our baseball God, has the generosity in his heart to open it up.
He is Steve the Benevolent. He is Steve the Benevolent. So it'll probably happen, but that's fucking insane, man.
I hope someone
he talks all shit and then asks for autographs. He talks all this shit and then asks for appearances. Like, what?
I think all they have to do is just search Twitter for still Wilpon, and they will quickly be like, yeah, don't go on a walk with this guy.
If I was Steve, I'd say you could go on a walk, but it can't be filmed. Like, I'm not doing that. You don't get clicks and views out of this. You get, like, you could have a talk like grown men, and you can apologize and kiss my feet. That would be me, but I'm not the benevolent Steve Cohen.
You cannot talk to Frank Fleming as a grown man. He's not. He's not. He's an adult who's, a 8-year-old baseball fan, screaming and yelling, stomping his feet.
It was funny seeing Tuesday night, like an hour after the game, he has a tweet, Canning stinking it up. And all the quotes are like, this isn't even streamy, still late. I don't know what this is.
I thought Frank lost his arm too because it started out he just had one arm and I'm like, what the fuck happened, Frank? And then I saw him cutting his onions and I'm like, did we have a fucking Tank Cooks accident here? And the thing about Frank is he'd be like, oh yeah, I cut off my motherfucking arm, and he'd just be in the office the next day. Like that's the thing about the Tank. So I mean, listen. Personally, guys, I went to war with him, the bets thing. I still have I squashed it, but I learned something about Frank through that. There is something to be said about a guy who you can't just motherfuck someone and then be like, oh, all's good. But things are good too. Things are good right now. You know,
coming off the Mets aliens postseason, I would have loved it, whatever. But he then spent this season talking shit.
Oh, did he? I didn't realize that.
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto for the first 2 months, which is a great one. It's his best work. It's not true. Unfortunately, it just wasn't fucking true. But Juan Soto is probably his best ever.
I want to if Darth Vader didn't have the bolts of electricity, he was dying at the end of Jedi, would he have been take off my helmet, son, I love you and all's good? I feel like he would have been no, I'm gonna force choke you and I want to take over the galaxy. With Frank, has he changed for good? Or the first 2-game losing streak we have, is he? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Me, Kyle, I feel like I've still seen him be negative. Maybe he hasn't been. I don't know.
He's been better the last week, but
I hope so.
Now to be positive,
even
been in first place wire to wire.
Friday night, he was saying, "This is the night where the season flips around. The Rockies and the Mets will switch records."
Oh God. When the other day too, I saw you said Heyman was in the office for a walk. I thought it was Buster Olney in my head, and I'm like, holy shit! That would be the biggest flip ever if Buster Olney squashes the beef. I know SVP did that, but SVP is a good fucking dude, and he hasn't gotten the ire that I think Buster Olney somehow has become Frank's number one target.
SVP was like, why the hell don't you like me? He's like, you come on after the game's over on ESPN.
He's blaming Buster Olney for dead baseballs now.
Yeah,
it's the balls are dying on the track. It's Buster Olney's fault.
Speaking of baseballs dying on the track, Nimmo did say last night in the post game, he's like, that flip has switched at Citi Field where the weather starts to turn. He goes, because those 2 home runs I hit, neither were the hardest ball I hit tonight, and the only one I hit hard was out.
I'll tell you.
That Soto one, the backspin that he gets on that ball where you're just like, oh, did he miss it? And then it just continues to go and go.
That scared me, though, because he was admiring it again. I was like, the last thing we need is another one of those balls, bro.
Oh, Brian Kenny had a segment. It's like Juan Soto didn't hustle on his RBI double. It's like, do you want to make the last out at third base with 2 outs?
Yeah, Juan Soto's going to get a triple, bro. Come on. Fucking relax.
I saw a tweet here. Someone said, no more Gary Cohen slander on the pod. I will not slander. I'm just going to respectfully ask, we need to get better at the fly balls. That's all I'm going to say. We need to. And listen, there's some times where Keith is like, oh, that got caught up in the wind. And I don't know if Keith's being nice. And there are some nights I know New York is fucking weird. You're right on the marina there. I just need better fly ball coverage. That's all I'm asking. I'm looking at you as a GOAT. I'm not looking at you as the fucking Angels broadcast team. Who is the Angels broadcast team, Phil?
Matt Vasgersian.
You sick motherfucker. I knew you were going to do that right away. Matt Vasgersian's pretty good, though. He's good, though. Vasgersian's good.
Could you tell me any team's broadcasting team?
Is
it
the
Rockies broadcasting team?
I think Ryan Spilborch is on an analyst or something. That's about it. I don't know who their play-by-play guy is.
Do you know the Texas Rangers play-by-play?
I have no idea.
Okay, good.
He's a man, not a machine. He doesn't know everything.
Yeah. The Russian is cut.
Well, I'm just gonna leave it at that for Gary. But I just want better fly ball coverage.
Be at the ballpark at batting practice, just watching balls. I'll get a pitching machine out. I'll just shoot him over the wall, or high pipe flop, whatever. And he's got to call him right. We just everyone's got to put in their work.
Yep. Everyone's got to put in their work. And Kev, I thought you were going to say this, Kev. We mentioned in the last episode, vote for Lindor. Just do the right thing. Do your one All-Star ballot. Give Major League Baseball your private data. Throw your Social Security in there if Manfred wants it. Who cares? Get Lindor to the All-Star game. He deserves it at least once as a Met, which is crazy to say 5 years later here.
Lindor and Pete. They both better be starting.
Yes, 100% over Freeman, even though Freeman is having a crazy season in his own right.
What I'm gonna do real quick? Crazy move by me. Just one last flower. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but it's insane. I think I have to give Aaron Judge a flower. He's insane. He's insane. I didn't even know how good he was. When I saw 396, I was like, that's over like the last 5 games or something, right? Not for the fucking season. It is truly bananas what that guy's doing. We need him to get like hit by a bus or struck by lightning or something, because that's the only thing that's going to slow that guy down.
Kev, just need a little thing. Is there a fall solstice? I don't think there is, right? It's just summer and winter solstice. We just need fall to get here. That's when it usually happens, unfortunately. Which is the craziest thing of all. Because when the postseason comes, I'm like, how did you go from this cartoon character I've been watching the last 5 months to like me at the plate, right?
Bro, if he has a bad October this year, then it's really officially like an absolute thing. Like, it's even in my mind, it's still like, yeah, he had a bad one. He had the error. But I still, come this October, when it starts, I'd be like, I'm afraid of that guy. If he goes out meekly again, like, that would be crazy. Crazy to be that good. Like, head and shoulders, playing like Ted Williams baseball. And then, I don't know. That would be nuts. He's going to bat like 120 points higher than everybody. It's crazy.
He is so good. Kev just took, the biggest Yankee hater I know, just took time on our Mets podcast to give him a flower that you did not have to do. That was on your own accord.
It's like him and his agent are the worst of all time. They're the woke. Yeah, it's the best contract like ever. It's crazy.
And I feel like he plays good defense too, right? Like he's not like a fucking Gold Glove superstar, but
he's already at 6 WAR. No one else in the majors even at 5.
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
And thank God he took steroids, and he's like gonna fall apart because he's like 30, whatever. Because if he was Juan Soto in his prime type shit, like this is never gonna stop. It's gonna come to an end soon enough. He should have cheated his whole career.
That WAR makes sense. And if we're in the trust tree, I don't know where the fuck they're coming up with WAR for some of these players. Because you look at the old players. I just saw something. It was like best teams not to win a World Series, and it was the 2006 Mets. And it was like Jose Valentin would be on this team and having like the second highest average. And I'm like, how the hell do they calculate WAR?
I mean, if there's anybody like so you just said, what's the second place? Like someone's at 5 and he's over 6.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously that's a big gap, but like it's still not enough. He's batting 400. He's had a immortal like season as of right now. It's June 12th. Like if there's anybody, I would love. What are the odds for like MVP? If there's anody within
his MVP odds are like minus like 1,000.
It needs to be like minus 10,000.
DraftKings is offering, I think it's 100-1 that he hits 400 for the season.
If he hits 400, that would be. Anyway, too much time on fucking Aaron Judge. It's my fault. Move on.
Perfect segue, Philip. We've hit the sweet spot of the baseball season. Every pitch count, every win matters, and every game can shift the standings. This is what DraftKings Sportsbook was made for. From same-game parlays and live betting to odds boosts and more, DraftKings has you covered from first pitch to extra innings and every moment in between. New to betting on baseball? No problem. Just start with something simple, like picking your favorite team to win. It's quick, it's simple, and it makes every inning that much more exciting. And for first-time players, DraftKings is serving up a can't-miss offer. Bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sports app and use code BELIEVE. That's code BELIEVE for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets. It's a good lot of money. When you bet just $5 and your bet wins. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Again, that's code BELIEVE, BELIEVE. $300 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and your bet wins. Phil, how are you doing on time here? Do you have Pick Central coming up or what?
Oh, no, in an hour. I just need to get my charger.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you were doing anything beforehand. All right. So I guess unless you guys have any other flowers to give out, Kev has any other Yankees Dixie wants to suck right now, we can move on to the current biggest story in New York and on the internet. The goddamn Knicks just want to hire someone else's coach. Can't they just fucking, isn't it something about a girl when she's with a guy, she looks a little extra cuter? Like, what's wrong? Leon just looking for someone that he knows can run a team. I don't see anything wrong with this. Do you guys?
I see our boy from Knicks Film School in the chat saying that the Knicks request to interview Jeremy Hefner for the Knicks and make it right. Bro, if the New York Knicks, Leon Rose and James Dolan just thought that other teams with their current head coaches were going to let them go to the Knicks. I mean, that's insane. It's one thing if you're cock blocking people from from going to becoming a head coach. Like that's shitty. That's low. If you're stopping people from taking your own coach and your only plan was just to ask a bunch of teams that already have head coaches to give theirs up, that's fucking insane. It makes me think that like they like really thought that Jay Wright or somebody like they had a plan and it fell through and now they're just like, okay. Because if this was the plan, and by the way, they're not even like that. It's like it's not like I'm like, oh fuck, we can't get Jason Kidd. It's like that wasn't even that great of an option to begin with. To be perfectly honest, unless it was going to be like a real star, I want a new guy. I hear these retreads and these old names because people are just so obsessed with like the past and nostalgia. But it's like, get me a new age guy who's really like young and dialed in, and like the fact that I still think it was the right move. Like I think if you ask me the question, is Tibbs going to get them to the promised land? My answer would be no. So then you got to get someone new. But if it's like going to be a scrub, then I don't know. Maybe you should have waited another season or figured this out. But it really makes me think that they were either going to go after someone who came out right away and said no, or they thought that like Giannis was going to really put on the full court press and that was going to make something happen. I don't know. But like as of right now, it looks like they just did it on a whim. It makes me believe some of those rumors that it was more like personal or just drama, and that's why they did it, because to do it without a plan, I would have told you that if they're going to fire Tibbs, they would have hired someone within like a week. Like they had everything lined up. The fact that it's just report after report of being denied is not only is it bad for like the team, it's just embarrassing for the franchise.
It is funny though, like even the Bulls are like, no, you can't have our coach. It's like Bulls fans want Billy Donovan gone, and they're like, no, we actually want to keep him.
Dude, when I saw the Billy Donovan report come out last night, because the Quinn Snyder one came out like around dinner time, 6:00-ish. When I saw the Billy Donovan, I thought it was the Doc Rivers joke where it was like the Bucks have requested the Knicks to interview and the Knicks declined. And I was like, the fucking Bulls hate that. Like I always hear like Billy Donovan just keeps him in the middle, which is what Jerry Reinsdorf wants. He wants to play in the playing game every single year. And I'm like, fuck, we're getting turned down from Billy Donovan.
Dude, now it's like Mike Brown. You're gonna like Mike Brown is the big name. I legitimately, Mike Brown. I would legitimately at this point prefer like a young
Johnny Bryant.
Well, yes, I would definitely prefer that. But like, even if it's just like somebody who's young and advanced and like no clout or no resume, but like I don't know, I'd rather that than just some retread that we heard of before.
Bosco's running joke is we're going to reach out to Lenny Wilkins for head coach.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like all of these names are like dumb sports radio caller type recommendations, you know? Even it's like, I love Jeff Van Gundy. The people were talking about him. It's like, no, this is crazy. This guy's like 100. We need like a new.
Ian Begley brought up Mike Woodson.
Oh my God. Mike Woodson, Mr. Potato Head.
Yes, Mr. I forgot the Mr. Potato Head. Mike Brown.
At this point, maybe it should just be Ron Artest. Just bring in Meta World Coach. Let Melo and Swish like co-coach the team.
And I remember Pat Riley when he left. We got Don Nelson. Oh, Don Nelson, he's one of the greatest. And he was gone half a season in, making Patrick Ewing run, playing Anthony Mason at point forward. That led to obviously Van Gundy. But it's like they would fire a guy. Lenny Wilkins is the new head coach. Lenny gets fired. Larry Brown's the new head coach. Then Isaiah, Mike D'Antoni. And then that all fucking went to shit. Derek Fisher was like the newer age players guy. He's getting into fights with fucking Matt Barnes and shit like that. Jeff Hornacek, he had won Coach of the Year, finished second. Yeah. David Fizdale, take that for data with the hot fucking wife. And it was just like, that's why I'm not sweating this. We have no reason to really, I mean, you have to like get a coach at some point. You have to, if there's other players that might want to come to you, you have to know what system and coach is going to be in place. And B, you just need to have someone to put everything together. But like, I think they should literally call every good coach and be like, can we interview this guy? And if they say no, like they're all going to apparently, then all right, we just hire somebody else. Like you think about it, like you said, Phil, Dwayne Casey gets fired. Everyone lost their mind because he was, Coach of the Year. Nick Nurse kind of comes in. No one knows what the fuck. Takes him to a championship. It can be done. Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr.
Like, there's just a lot of expectations, man. It's not like a year to fuck around. But
I was texting you guys, like outside looking in. They're paying Tibbs $30 million. Like he had another year on his contract, so it's like you didn't have to fire him before the finals are even over. Like, why didn't you kind of come up with some sort of roadmap beforehand of like, if what happens if this team says no, let's ask them. Like doesn't seem like that's the case. Now they're just being reactionary.
That's why it feels like something had to have either gone on behind the scenes where like they had to fire him or wanted to fire him on like a personal level, or something happened where like they did have a plan that like immediately went to shit that they didn't foresee happening, because it's just it's worse than the vacancy is like the jokes. It's like you went from an Eastern Conference Finals to like we're on the precipice to being like this team that is uncoached and everyone's denying, and you're just fodder for the fucking tabloids, and it does not look good right now. And the worst part is, like, we got a long way to go where ordinarily, like, just win, baby, doesn't matter. But, like, we ain't playing for a long time. So it's going to be a lot of bad headlines for a long time, because whoever they do land at this point is going to be, like, plan Q, obviously. So, and then if they get off to a hot start, have a great, like, November, it doesn't matter. But we have to wait until then. It's going to be a lot of shit until that point. Just let Rick Brunson do it. I don't fucking know. Just promote him and let's go.
So this happened. This is back in 2020, which, as we know, was kind of a crazy year. So they hired Leon Rhodes March 2nd, right? Then March 11th, the season gets suspended after Rudy Gobert shuts down the NBA. The Knicks began their head coaching search May 27th. Okay, they hired their coach Tom Thibodeau July 25th. 2 months. 2 months it took. Now, granted, it's not the pandemic. There's not a bunch of shit going on. This front office does not strike me as one who's like, we got to get this thing done, taken care of. I think they have to flip every fucking stone. Jay Wright, fucking.
They flipped them. They flipped all the stones. There's no stones left.
Well, what about this, Kev? I'll start fucking getting crazy Nick brain on you now, because it's kind of where I'm going now. Because, like, why the fuck not? Maybe they ask all these other coaches, and Spoelstra's just like, these fucking assholes haven't even asked to interview me. And he's like, I'm going to go and interview them. And he tells Pat Riley, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to New York, and I'm winning a title. Then we get Spoelstra. Is that good enough for you, Eric fucking Spoelstra?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Yes, if they went and got, like, in my opinion, the greatest coach of, like, this modern era, yes, that would be good enough for me. Yes.
Okay, there you go. He's like, oh, Ime Udoka. Oh, we want him. And he's like, I'm fucking better than Ime. Everyone fucking loves Ime. He cheated on Nia Long. She's fucking beautiful. She begged me for Friday. And that's how you fucking, like, start thinking Leon Rose, mafioso, fucking 10 levels above you. Worldwide West is the fucking little finger of the NBA. He's fucking making moves, and he's not doing it traditional way. So you want to fucking get crazy? Let's get crazy. There it is. Eric Spoelstra to the Knicks. Breaking on fucking We Got It.
Breaking news.
Heard it here. Hey, Pabs, put it as the fucking thumbnail. See if we can get some extra views for this episode. All right. So, yeah, again, I think they're doing their due diligence. Phil, 1 to 10, how worried are you right now about the Knicks, like, coaching?
2.
Section? Okay. I think me and Phil are the more rational. Also, like, the more, like, we just trust the process kind of people on the pod, compared to Kevin, who's a little emotional right now, clearly.
I'm like, NBA coaching is a weird one. It's like, in some ways it doesn't matter as much. In some ways it's like imperative. It's more just like, just gives me pause that I used to just have like ultimate faith in the front office. And now I'm just a little bit like, well, this seems like a pretty big misstep in terms of, you can't tell me that they thought it was going to go like this.
I don't know. I don't think they would have known everything would leak. I just think, like, I don't think the Knicks are leaking these names. I don't think, like, that's the thing. I don't think the Knicks leak anything. And I think all these other teams are like, yeah, the Knicks just interviewed. We said, what was it? They were given a firm no, or the Atlanta threw some sauce on their no. It said, like, they were told, like, firm
I also
no.
think that's what's going on. There's like a Knicks bias, Knicks hatred, where these teams not only are like, no, this is our current head coach, but they're like, we want to say no to the Knicks. What's up with the Nuggets guy and the Grizzlies guy, right? Those guys were both like, what happened with them?
Mike Malone's basically a Tibbs clone. Like,
They just don't want him, or he said no.
I think he said, I'm not sure if he said no or not. All I know is, but Mike Malone is like, everything you hate about Tibbs, that's what Mike Malone was. It's like, oh, he gives too much trust to, like, Russell Westbrook, too much trust to his veterans, doesn't play his bench deep enough. Like, it's the same Tibbs lines.
Yeah, he was doing, like, with Russell Westbrook on less minutes, but, like, what Tibbs was doing with Josh Hart. And the fucking fans in the front office was losing their mind. They fired the GM and the coach. That's how fucked up it was in Denver. Yeah. And, like, I like Mike Malone. I also kind of love if Denver's like, you can't interview him. I know we fired him, but you can't interview him. I do think like Dolan has a bad relationship with like everyone in the NBA, so they're probably, like you said, the New York bias. You're going to get Knicks for clicks, even if this Quinn Snyder thing might not have come out if it was any other franchise. But like again, we have Dave Portnoy talking about us every year, talking about Tibbs's farewell notes in the New York.
And that's also the thing. If I were to find out that this was way more of a Dolan-driven fiasco, that would make me feel a lot different. If the front office is still in control, they didn't quite, their plan didn't pan out, but like they're gonna figure it out, fine. But if we come to find out that like Leon Rose and company were like, fucking, we told you it's gonna happen, Dolan, and you still made us do it, then that gives me concern that we're still just, as much as we're always like Dolan took a back seat and finally let everybody cook, he's gonna swoop in when he thinks when the credit is almost there to be taken. So that feels like a big piece of the puzzle if that's the case as well. But
that's a fear I always have because Jeff Wilpons, whenever we got good again, that's when he really started getting his hands dirty because he's fucking back in the circles back in 2015 and shit like that. So I understand where that's coming from. I don't think that's the case. And Kev, you mentioned them earlier. Obviously, we have Andrew Claudio in the chat from Knicks Film School. Listen to Ian Bigley on Knicks Film School. He was on yesterday. I don't listen to any fucking nonsense about what's going on with the Knicks unless Ian says it. And that's kind of their mantra as well there. It's like, if Ian says it and what he doesn't say, listen to him. And he's basically like, this was Leon Rose's decision. He almost fired Tibbs twice in the last 5 years. Didn't happen. Brought him back. They're very close friends. And the fact that I think if Dolan was like, either he's gone or you're gone, Leon Rose would be like, fuck you, I'm out of here. And he'd be on a fucking beach sipping margaritas. Like, he's loaded. He's a super agent. He's a boss. So I think everything's going to be all right. So listen to that podcast if you need someone to like ease your mind about where this is all going. And there's a chance they're going to hire someone. We're going to get a clown because he's some no name or not like, premier head coach. But it's like, until the games are played, it's like, who gives a shit? Everyone hated Jalen Brunson signing for $100 million. Everyone hated quickly getting traded. People didn't like getting a soft guy like Cat for Randall and DiVincenzo. And if Randall opts out of his contract, the fucking Timberwolves are not in a very good spot. Like, it's a salary cap. It's like levels. It's so minutia and nerdy. And I know I'm closer to the Phil with the Mets than with basketball because I follow all this like salary cap shit pretty closely because you can't make moves anymore with this new apron stuff. And trust me, there's like levels to the moves that they're making. I just trust his front office. They are the ones who brought the Knicks back, not Tibbs. They hired Tibbs and he helped do it. But this front office deserves all the respect that Tibbs has, started getting. Which if the Knicks kept Tibbs, we'd be hearing how like the first 3-game losing streak next year, we should have fired him and our window's going to close on our fingers, right?
So we can't win.
All right. So fuck the Knicks. That's over with. We'll see what happens for the Knicks coaching search, for the best team in baseball, for everything in between, your summers with your Coors Light. Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.